Hey guys, last week at Deep we talked about the Ten Commandments. We talked about how God gave those 10 Commandments because He wants us to be holy as He is holy. And we talked about how ultimately those commandments do not make us holy. Jesus' blood is what makes us holy. When Jesus lived a perfect life and He was killed and He was hung on a cross and He came back to life, He resurrected from the dead, and we accept Jesus as our Savior. That is what makes us holy, ultimately. It's nothing that we do, but the 10 Commandments are important, and I want to give you a device to help you remember them. So we're going to just jump right in. You should be able to memorize these little motions and be able to repeat at any moment, like what's the 8th commandment or what's the 4th commandment. All right, so here we go. The first commandment is you shall have no other gods. So number 1 is there's only one God, no other gods. Number 2 is do not make idols. So you have a little person here bowing down to an idol. Okay, now the second commandment, 1 + 1 is 2. The second commandment is do not make any idols. And so we're bowing down. Number 3, the third commandment is do not take the name of the Lord in vain. Do not misuse the name of God. So number 3, this is a W in sign language. So that's your words. You put it over your mouth. You do not misuse the name of God. Words. Do not take the name of the Lord in vain. So I actually had a teacher in high school, that if somebody would say, oh my G-O-D, she would say, why don't you just go ahead and call on somebody you know? Because that's misusing the name of God when we say things like that. All right, number 4, the 4th commandment is remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. So you have 2 + 2 is 4, and you make a little church. That's why we go to church on Sundays, is because we worship the Lord on Sundays with fellow believers. So remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. 4. Number 5, the 5th commandment is honor your father and mother. And if you do, whoo, high five, good job. And if you don't, right, you get a spanking, right? Not always, but that just helps you remember. So the 5th commandment, honor your father and mother. The 6th commandment is do not murder. And we talked about we have a gun or a knife, or do not murder. That's the 6th commandment. 5 + 1 is 6. Do not murder. The 7th commandment. The 7th commandment is do not commit adultery. So we have 5 kids, mom and a dad. This is a husband and a wife. When you get married, you make promises to one another and to God to treat only your spouse, your husband or wife, as a husband or wife, right? You keep that promise. You stay together. The husband and wife stay together. Nothing should separate them. That's why you're never going to see Miss Sharon holding anybody else's hand besides Mr. Jacob's, right? Because we're married, and he's never going to hold another woman's hand because we've made a promise. Do not commit adultery. All right. And that also means you don't treat a girlfriend like a wife, and you don't treat a boyfriend like a husband, because you're not married yet. Until you're married, you don't get to act like husband and wife, because you're not. All right. So that's number 7. Do not commit adultery. Number 8. 4 + 4 is 8. This one is do not steal. Okay. Do you remember what Jesus said? Jesus said, if your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off. And so that's what this is. Do not steal. Cut off your thumbs. You got 8. That's the 8th commandment. Do not steal. It's also really hard to steal things if you don't have thumbs. Number 9, the 9th commandment. So 5 + 4 is 9. So if you went to court and you were going to give a testimony, you would have to put your hand on the Bible, and you would have to swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. So that's what this is. 5 + 4 is the 9th commandment. Put your hand on the Bible, put it down, and you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. So that's number 9. The 10th commandment is do not covet. Okay, and so to covet is to want what somebody else has. So, and this is sign language for want. It's like this. So the 10th commandment, do not covet, and you do like this or like this. Okay, so that's the 10th commandment. So if I come up to you and I say, hey, what's the 4th commandment? You should be able to say, remember the Sabbath, keep it holy. Or what's the 2nd commandment? Do not bow down to idols. You shall have no other idols. Or if I said, what's the 9th commandment? You could say, do not lie. Okay, you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Hey, I hope that helps you remember the 10 commandments. I'm almost 40, and this is the first time I've memorized them without having to. I don't have to think about it anymore. I love this little device, and I hope it helps you too. Have a great day.